Yeah, what's going on, man? You know how we do. H2 Soundproze Productions, Sound Show Radio. We are back, man. We are back on live waiting for my boy Luck Blake, you know what I mean? Vice President and A&R of Soundproze Productions to come back on and continue the part 2 to his interview, you know what I'm saying? My boy Luck Blake just waved and he get ready to join the live in a second. You know how we do, man. Sound Show Radio, man. You know how we do this shit, man. Shout out to my boy Luck Blake. Just a sec to him to Sound Show Radio. Shout out to the Matrix Studio Network. Shout out to iHeartRadio. Party 101.9. Back. My boy Luck Blake is back, B. He is back, B. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Luck Blake. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm making
sure. I can hear you, man. We're good to go, man. You know what I'm saying? About to get this part 2 of that interview going. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Blake? It's good to have you back on. You know what I mean? You just getting it going for the first half of the interview. You know, we talked a little bit about, you know, you being a part of the Hampden lineage. You know, your pops being a musician. You know what I'm saying? He played for Luther, J.Lo, so many others. You know, they went to the first part of that interview. You know, we just ended off talking about songs that we produce. You know, and I produced for Heez The Duece. You know what I mean? You being an A&R of Soundproze Productions and just helping us put these projects together. You know what I'm saying? We put together Heez, a couple of Heez and The Duece mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? And then we also put together this legendary Soundproze compilation album that we're going to talk about. Right? So now, shout out to my boy Oscar Green on the check-in. Shout out to Oscar the Grouch on the check-in. I see you, O. I want to have you come through on Sound Show Radio to talk about your career as a producer and person as well. So shout out to my boy Oscar the Grouch. You know, he introduced me to the hazardous material team like over 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? He introduced me to meeting people like Heez, Loaded Loves, and more, man. So shout out to my boy Oscar the Grouch. You know what I'm saying? But yo, man, we're going to talk back to you, Love. We're going to talk a little bit about, you know, this Soundproze compilation and the footage that you got. I'm gonna smoke with you too, my guy. You know how we do. Look, come on.
Oh, yeah, you know, I'm on the road. I gotta hit a little from.
Yeah, you're doing good, right? You're doing good now, right? The weather's clearing up a little bit, right? All right.
It's a little crazy. But
that's okay. That's okay. But I'm glad to have you here, though, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we get ready to talk about the second half, man. So now let's talk a little bit. You still there, right? Yeah, I see you. Let's talk a little bit about the Loaded Lux thing, you know what I'm saying? When you came through to the crib, man, and we had this crazy Loaded Lux. Lux came through and he was kicking beats. And we had like this iconic footage on YouTube.
I want to say one thing about that. My favorite thing about that day was that me and you, we put in a lot of work that day. I remember that day, and I had the idea for the sample, and I knew if I got the right sample, you would kill that, and you did. And we sit there, we was vibing to that.
Hell yeah, we did the 2 tracks that came out of that sample. You know what I'm saying? Lux, you had came through, Luck. I see you. I know you're signaling, bugging a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to continue on. I remember you had came through and you had bought the sample for the 2 tracks that we was working on. You know what I'm saying? For Lux, yo, that jam was crazy. You know what I mean? You still there, right? Yeah, my boy Luck Blake having crazy signaling issues because he driving and shit like that. But yo, man, like, yeah, I brought through this sample that we was working on. You know what I'm saying? I had chopped it up. You know, I made like 2 different beats out of it. You know what I'm saying? And then Loaded Lux I came through and we had like a dope footage. I hear you, Luck. I just held it down for you until you came back. You know what I'm saying? Right, you know what I'm saying?
Do you remember what that was?
Yeah,
you remember what that was?
Yeah, I don't wanna totally give it away right now because we don't want people to go back and fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? But I would tell you that it comes from a famous TV show. That I could tell you. You know what I'm saying? It comes from a famous TV show. So we had chopped it up, right? And made 2 beats out of it. And Loaded Lux that came through later on that night, right, Luck? Yeah, it came through later on that night and he heard those 2 beats that was made. And he was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And he freestyled over one of them. You know, he picked both of them. And we got a song to one of them that's in the archive. He got a song to one of them, Luck, that's in the archives. It didn't come out yet. And then the other one, I don't know if he worked with the beat, but that iconic footage is available on YouTube right now. It's on my YouTube channel, Soundproze Prod, SOUNDPROZE space PRD. Soundproze Productions abbreviated, right, Luck? Y'all can go check out that footage with me, H2 of the Soundproze, my boy Luck Blake, and Loaded Lux. You know what I'm saying? You having some crazy signaling issues right now, though, Luck. You know what I mean? Like, all we see is like the shit buffering on your screen. Pause. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. My boy is driving, man. Like, I don't know. We may have to do this part.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, but I don't even see you. All I see on your screen is just buffering, and I hear you. There you go. Yeah, I can hear you a little bit.
It just went. I'm in between trees.
Yeah, that's why. That's why. There's a little bit of signaling issue.
It looked like it's getting better though.
Yeah, that's a fact.
The signal looked like it's getting stronger, but I just got a few more bars than I had a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. But that was a legendary footage he put up, right, with Loaded Lux, man. Me, you, and Loaded Lux at the crib after he picked those beats.
Oh, yeah.
You had came through with the samples. You know what I mean? You had came through with the idea from the TV show. I heard the sounds, I made beats out of them, you know what I'm saying? You was like, yo, dude, check this out. I don't know what you gonna do with it, but I know you be making crazy shit out of some bullshit. So I was like, yo, this shit got crazy sounds in it, right? Like, we made like 3 beats out of it.
We made 2 beats out of it.
Made 2 beats out of it. One we gave to Loaded Lux. You know what I mean? Y'all can check that out on the YouTube channel, right? That shit right now, that clip is almost 1,000 views. That's not even like a video or nothing. That's just footage and shit. That shit got almost like 1,000 views on that. But all of the clips with Loaded Lux all together, we definitely got like 2 or 3K. You know what I mean?
And it was dope because it was real. You know what I'm saying? He really
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna call you and film it. Nah, you came through and you threw the phone up and I'm gonna record it. And he came through and listened to the beats, and that was really him feeling them, and that was really him sitting there freestyling over one. Like,
that's a fact.
That's why it was dope to me, because it wasn't no front end, nothing. It was some real stuff that we were doing. That shit was dope.
Yo, man, y'all got to. Oh, man, definitely, man. Hit me in the DMs, man. We're going to set up something, man. We're going to talk, my God. I appreciate you. My boy Oscar Green on the check-in. Okay, Oscar the Grouch. You already know how we do, man. Yo, Luck, man, I really appreciate you, you know, being able to come back online, man, taking the time out your day. Because, like I said, I know you're on your way to a paid gig right now. Because, like you said, my boy is also a musician. You know, a lot of drummer who plays drum sets and percussions. So I'm glad that you still had the time to come back in here and complete the interview. But like we said, you know, we're going to move a little further. The Loaded Lux was crazy. But we also have 2 songs from Loaded Lux on the Soundproze compilation, right? One of those beats that are on the IG Live, one of the beats that are on my YouTube, you know, he made a song out of it, but it's like that. That joint is featured on the Soundproze compilation right now. And I don't know if you heard the other song, The Groove, on the Soundproze compilation. That song is really turning out to be a hit, and it's almost like we got to do a video for that shit right now, even though the song was made years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of picking up it has like a timeless traction, and it's picking up. You know what I'm saying? So we're definitely gonna make sure that we're gonna put more energy into that record. Shout out to my boy Loaded Lux. Yo, your signal is super clear right now, my man. Your signaling is super clear right now. Look.
Yeah,
you are super clear signaling right now, man.
The rain slowed down. It looked like I'm leaving out of those bad clouds. I'm still.
You see, we having a smoking interview.
Oh yeah.
My boy Luck Blake, you already know, VP and A&R Soundproze Productions. We're gonna continue to talk that talk. So that was a great one with Loaded Lux.
What y'all don't know is that this is me and him every day back in like this, you know, this regular.
Yeah, this is normal for us, you know what I'm saying? This is my boy, you know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, man, like that was a really dope footage we got with Loaded Lux. Everybody can go check that out on my YouTube channel, you know what I'm saying? Me, my boy Luck Blake, and Loaded Lux in the house while he's picking beats and shit like that. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Superstars just checked in.
When I look back at that now, I see how quiet I was, because to me it was just dope to see, and I didn't have much to say. I was just like in awe of you and him, like, because this dope ass beat that we put together, and then he started spitting, and I was just like, yo,
Yo, I cut up his verse and used it as a skit, and I put it on the Soundproze compilation. You know what I'm saying? That's smart, right? That's what you're supposed to do. So now, if you realize the skit on the Soundproze compilation album, if you look again and in the credits, it says Loaded Luck skit featuring H2 and Brian Luck. It's us three in the skit and in the credits. And if you look in the credits of the Soundproze compilation, which is available on my IG page, you will see everything. You'll see the cover, you'll see the credits, and then you'll also see all of us who are the executive producers of the project, which you see myself for producing the tracks, you'll see the executive producer, and you see co-executive produced by Luck Blake, Trey Bangin, and my cousin Akil for Soundproze Productions. You know, we are the four that make everything Soundproze happen. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yep.
That's a fact, you know what I'm saying? So this was long before the radio show, right? Look, long before there ever was a sound show radio. Way before that, you know what I'm saying? Soundproze Productions produced sound show radio. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We've been working on these projects for a long time, and we're going to get back and talk about that. Shout out to Loaded Lux. Yeah, since the 90s all the way up to now. You know what I mean? So we're going to speed back up, right, Love? Shout out to Loaded Lux. You know what I mean? We got more shit to talk about, Love. We got to talk about Busta Rhymes, Aaliyah, stuff, all of that, man. But we're going to speed back up. You know what I'm saying? So that was really dope with Loaded Lux, man. Now let's talk about our boy, Harlem legend, Hamilton legend, A.mafia. Let's go. Shout out to our boy, A.mafia. Shout out to the whole Hamilton, you know, whole Hamilton, you know how we do. Double H, right, Love? You know what I mean? Not everybody, if you're not from over there, you don't know people over there, don't go over there. You know what I'm saying? You know, I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like other places in Harlem, that's not a place that you should go over there when you don't really know people. You know what I'm saying? The west side of Harlem where we from is very welcoming. It appears to be, but then the wrong
you make that wrong left.
Make that wrong left, it could be the last move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You make the wrong left, it won't be right.
You're right. You make the wrong left, it won't be right. You know what I mean? So shout out to the whole Hungry Ham. You know, I had Lou Gorbachev on the show too. Lou Gorbachev was on the show and all that. You know what I mean? Because you know, Lou a comedian and all that. And he be like, when dope shit, he be having his hands tied into different artists. So we had Lou Gorbachev on the show too. You know what I mean? So stay tuned. Go check that one out too. Like that's like Sound Show, I believe number 70, 78, something like that with Lou Gorbachev. I'll double check that and then listening. But just know we had him on the show. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's go back and talk about my boy A.mafia. Shout out to A.mafia, the whole Hamilton. Me and Luck Blake know A.mafia before there was an A.mafia, right, Luck? Uh-oh, your voice down. Your sound went out. Sound went out. It's the signaling. It's the signaling. You know what I mean? Yeah, fuck around with it. If you so, jump. Come back. Yep, that's how you do it. Signaling mess up, go out, pause, come back in. Pause, you know what I'm saying? Yep, so that's what my boy Luck Blake gonna do. He said he gonna go out and come back in and make sure the signaling is intact, you know what I'm saying? So we can continue on our interview. You know how we do, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know how we do, man. Sound Show Radio, man. Your boy H2 of the Soundproze, you know how we do, man. We having a great time. Just talking to my boy Luck Blake, VP and A&R of Soundproze Productions. You know what I'm saying? You right back, right? I can't hear you. Turn your volume up. Make sure your mic is not muted.
You hear me?
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Yep. Make sure your volume is up. Turn your volume up good.
My volume's up. That's the best.
Yeah, man. See, now we know what to do because you know you driving. If you were sitting still, that wouldn't even happen. But you driving.
Yeah,
you know
I'm moving, so the signal.
You're moving.
You know, when you get a certain distance, it's different from, you know how it goes.
Yeah, we working while we're working, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I really thank you for taking the time out and coming to make this interview happen because, you know, we said that we were going to do that, man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been wanting to do this for a minute. I've been wanting to do this for
That's a fact. That's a fact. Right. So we're going to continue to talk about our boy A.mafia, right? Luck Blake, shout out to A.mafia, shout out to the whole Hamilton. You know, we went on to produce 7 tracks for A.mafia as far as Soundproze Productions. I believe it's 8. It's another one that's in the tuck with him and Hell Rel, but it's not out in the world yet. The other 7, they're out in the world, and the songs are in my possession. Oh, man, my boy Luck Blake, he lost signal, man. He going to come back in, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, once again, he is in North Carolina. He is driving, man, so don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? His signaling is bugging, so sometimes he's losing reception, and it's throwing him out of the live. But it's all good, you know what I mean? I've signaled him to come back into the live interview, and then here we go, you know what I'm saying? That's all. I let people know, like, you're signaling sometime you out, so we signal you to come back into the interview, and then we keep going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's sweet. That shit's swift. So we're going to go back, man, and talk about A.mafia, man. We produced 7 songs for A.mafia as far as Soundproze production, and one more. It's really 8, but 7 are out. You know what I mean? So shout out A.mafia.
Just to let people know, you know, that's another, like, we from different areas, you know, like all over in Harlem, but then you got your little place there, but 6 Dudes where we from, and A.mafia is another dude that's family
that's family. That's a whole nother set. That's a whole nother set of people. That's Hungry Hamilton set. And that's where you're from also, Luck.
Yeah. So,
you also from the Duece and Hungry Ham because you live right up the block.
It's not just I met him in the hood and we started doing tracks together.
Right.
This goes way back beyond that. You know,
right.
This is like our brotherly relationship I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It's before music.
Way before music. So for it to be able to be with music is dope. Like fast forward years later, for the people who's into it, they get to, you know, that we grew up together, we get to do music together. That is dope.
That's a fact, man. Shout out to A.mafia. For those of the people that don't know, let's talk about some of the songs we produced that I produced for A.mafia and then we produced as Soundproze Productions, the company. You know what I'm saying? Because even if I produce them by myself, we produce them as a company. You know what I'm saying?
What was the first one?
The very first record we did for A.mafia was Turn It Up. Turn It Up. Very first record we did for A.mafia. Very first record I produced for A.mafia was called Turn It Up. That joint was featured on. Yeah, it was featured on Bubble Music, on Purple City's Bubble Music mixtape, and Dipset and Purple City's Bubble Music mixtape. And then the next joint after that, which went crazy after Turn It Up, was Don't Be Scared featuring Shice Bub from Purple City. You know that Don't Be Scared featuring Shice Bub from Purple City? That's a big deal.
That was the second one.
That's the second one.
Now, Turn It Up was playing in the hood because I was home.
Right.
It was Turn It Up was playing in the hood. But the next one,
that Don't Be Scared.
All over Harlem.
Yeah.
That was playing all over Harlem.
All over Harlem, and then it spread on the internet. It went crazy on the internet. Love that shit got 207.
Just at first, just because I just remember you telling me you was doing a track with him. I didn't know what it was. You told me you was doing a track with him. I know when I came up the block,
right,
he was playing it. So this was like, however.
Yeah, we was outside with like 40 people just playing it out the cars, right?
Yep. And that's all they kept playing, like it just
over and over again. Remember we was standing outside. Remember it was me, you, Jay Butter, Buddha. Remember all of we was all standing outside. Lou Dingo, me, Lou Gorbachev, Scrap, right? Scrap, fucking E Double, fucking all of us was out there. Trent, Lie, all them niggas, whole Hungry Ham, we was out there playing them shits. Remember, Love? We was in front of the park. We was in front of the iconic Hamilton Park. Everybody knows the iconic Hamilton Park. It was video shot in there. They shot Law and Order in there. That park is iconic. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's a fact.
Gave that park the cleanest park in New York City.
right. As far as a regular park, yeah, that's like one of the cleanest parks.
Being a kid to see the mayor come to the park and get on the news in front of the park and say this is the cleanest park, that was dope as a kid.
Right, we from the west side of Harlem, Luck, so that side of Harlem is a lot more cleaner in the street. It just get dirty in literal sense, in actuality. But the streets themselves, they're not dirty like that.
Yeah,
shit just happens, you know what I mean? Yeah, we didn't grow up in a dirty environment. Wild shit just happens, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know?
dirty shit just happened.
But that's a fact, right, Luck? Yo, that record, Don't Be Scared. Yo, shout out to Shice Bub, shout out to Purple City as well, right, Luck? Because their extension, they're connected to us too.
That record was crazy.
Yo, that shit got 217,000 views right now on YouTube.
Because
no video, Luck. No video, 217,000 views, no video.
Look, me going back and forth to North Carolina, New York.
What?
When, like I told you,
Right.
I know A.mafia. Yeah, I know Emily. Oh no,
yeah, a little segment on the part. Yeah, my boy Luck going through segment on the part.
Yo. Oh, that's getting weak.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, when niggas down here knew Don't Be Scared, I was like, yo, all right.
Yeah, the song definitely spread all over the states, you know what I mean? It's a worldwide song, you know what I mean? We got 6-figure views on that record. Shout out to A.mafia. Love all together for the songs that we got online with A.mafia. You know, as a producer, I got like at least 250,000 views with A.mafia. One song got 217,000, another one got 15,000, another one got 10,000. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to A.mafia. As Soundproze Productions for our company building up, like we got 250,000 views with our boy A.mafia. So it's like really putting on for our neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Because all three of us come from the same neighborhood. You, me, and A.maf come from the same neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not about no rap shit or no mixtape shit or no artist shit. Music shit is just we happen to be who we are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Type shit.
That's some family shit.
Yeah. Things just happened the way it happened, right? So we just turned out to be people who are affiliated with music. Shout out to Lejo 105 on the check-in. I got a lot of different people checking in, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of people online, but throughout these lives, there's different people popping in and waving and saying what's up. So, you know, we appreciate that. You know what I mean? But look, yeah, man, we gonna move on. You know what I mean? Like I said, 7 records produced for A.mafia, you know what I'm saying? And before we go back, I know we was talking to Loaded Lux. We got 5 records produced by Loaded Lux, you know what I'm saying? Because we was talking about the footage that we got on YouTube and all of that. So let's be quick that it is 5 records produced by me, H2, the Soundproze Productions, and there's also 1 record that's co-produced by me and Luck Blake for Loaded Lux, you know what I'm saying? So stay tuned for more. We're going to showcase more of the songs and all of that, you know what I'm saying? Luck Blake brought me one of the samples and I chopped it up and we made a beat. So that's still considered co-production credit. So shout out to my man Luck Blake for co-producing one of the tracks with me for Loaded Lux, and shout out to my boy Luck Blake for being in the iconic YouTube footage. You know what I mean? On my channel. You know what I'm saying?
And the footage is dope too.
The footage is dope, man. It's gonna be iconic, man, because I'm about to monetize everything more and more on my channel. So and a lot of shit is gonna have way thousands and thousands of views. I'm just getting the budget together. That's why we gotta get. That's why I'm trying to work on getting the endorsements and sometimes get you back into what's happening, and then I'm just gonna launch up everything on the internet and add so much more. You know what I'm saying? But I really appreciate you for coming on and talking about that. But yeah, we talked about A.mafia. We talked about Heez The Duece. We talked about Loaded Lux. You know, we talked about A.mafia as far as independent artists. But yeah, let's go through all the songs. It Turn It Up. It was Don't Be Scared. It was #1. All of these songs appeared on mixtapes. All of them appeared on Purple City, Dipset mixtapes, and then not to mention A.mafia's own individual projects. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Turn It Up, Don't Be Scared, #1. We got Running Things. You know what I'm saying? It's so many. We got Pimpin' with Magno from Houston and J.O.S. singing the hook.
Pimpin' was dope. That was dope.
Yeah, it's a lot of records, man. These joints are on mixtapes and all of that too, like with thousands of views online. You know what I mean? So Soundproze Productions, you know, we're quiet storm when it comes to production company. I feel like someday we'll get our just due, and then we'll end up being like a Neptunes and all of that from a Midland version. We want like the Midland version of the success of what the Neptunes have, you know, from the mid. Let us have a little bit of mainstream shit, a little bit more mid shit with more money coming in, and then we're good. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So we're looking forward to the next decade or more being very successful for our brands. And don't forget Blake brand, Luckey Hands Productions too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
An extension of, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yep. An extension of Soundproze Productions, you know what I'm saying? Luck Blake, you know what I'm saying? And Hamptons and Lucky Hand Productions, you already know, you know what I'm saying? So we working, man. You know what I mean? We are working, and I appreciate you being on this live, bro. So we're going to continue on, man. We talked about A.mafia. Now it's time to talk some mainstream shit real quick, bro. We got a little bit of time before you get ready to go to your gig. So let's give him a little mainstream talk, you know what I'm saying? How's your signaling? Your signaling good? Can you hear me?
It's there.
Yeah.
It's going back and forth.
That's okay. Can you hear me? Let's talk back and forth. Make sure we can hear each other. You can hear me?
You sound fine to me. I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you good too, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I hear you. I hear you well too. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. So we're going to move on and talk about, you know, as people know, you know, getting to know, I'm one of the co-producers of What's Really Good for the Diplomats featuring DMX. It's co-produced by me and Q730, you know what I'm saying, for Diplomats, right, Luck Blake? You know what I'm saying? My boy Luck Blake signaling bugging out, you know what I'm saying? You know the deal, Luck. If you bug out too much, you come out the live and you join the live again. So we're going to get into, you know, me and Luck Blake having to talk to Busta Rhymes, man, you know, and let him know that the What's Really Good beat for Diplomats was already sold. You know what I'm saying? At that time, you know, I had the meeting with Rocafella. You know, Luck Blake wasn't there, but at that time we had the meeting with Rocafella, me and Q730, and the beat seemed to get sold in a matter of days. You know what I'm saying? I hear you coming back into the live. Luck, that's you? Yeah, so the beat, like I said, the beat seemed to get sold in a matter of days. So, you know, when we had the meeting with J.Records, which was first, even before the meeting with Rocafella, you know, they said, give us a week or two, and, you know, Busta's going to come back through, and then he's going to check out the music, and then we'll see what's going on. At that time, Busta was on J.Records. This was around the time of the Genesis album for Busta Rhymes. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, having that meeting at Rocafella, man, with Q730, you're going to have to go out and come back in, man, as far as your live stream, man, because your signaling is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I hear you a little bit. You there? Go out, come back in, be with the live stream. Yeah, so we're going to talk. Oh, yeah, I can hear you a little bit, my God. Your signaling is bad, baby. You can hear me? So just exit the live and come back in. You know what I'm saying? Pause. You know what I mean? Exit the live and come back in, Luck. So like I said, what was happening, man, like we had a meeting with Rocafella, me and Q730. You know, Luck wasn't there. He's the A&R Soundproze Productions, but, you know, he wasn't at every meeting or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he left out the live so he could come back into the live and we could continue on the conversation. You know what I mean? Shout out to my boy Luck Blake, A&R VP of Soundproze Productions. Bear with us. He is driving. You know what I'm saying? He is driving, and he's in North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Bear with us, man. But like I said, we're going to come back in and we're going to talk about him being, you know, he was with me that day when I got the call back from the A&R from J.Records. You know what I'm saying? This guy named Trevor. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Trevor from J.Records. He had hit me back and was like, yo, Haas, where's you and Q730 at? Like, we got Busta on the line. This is now like a week and a half later from us having a meeting with Rocafella. And at that point, the beat had already got sold. You know what I'm saying? So I had to turn around and, I mean, me and Luck that was on a live stream, and I'm waiting for him to come back on the live stream right now. He's having some signaling issues because he's driving and all of that. Here we go. He right back on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like we were saying, man, you know, we had to actually tell Busta Rhymes. Could you believe it, y'all? We had to tell the actual legend, Busta Rhymes. You know what I'm saying? That the beat, the Coming to America beat was already sold, man. Could you believe that? And knowing of the fact that Put Your Hands on My Eyes to See You had like a video for it. Yo, Luck, you can hear me? Yeah, I can hear you now. You're starting to come into the signal and it's getting a little bit better. Try to keep talking a little bit.
It's still funny. My signal's still a little funny.
Yeah, but I can hear you.
Because I'm out here near the beach.
Yeah. See, I can see you now. You're saying coming back too. So let's get right into it. I was already explaining to the people what happened. So when we had to upset Busta Rhymes, and let him know that the Coming to America beat was already sold. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy. That was a crazy time, right? That was crazy. Me and you was just like chilling. You know what I mean? This is back in the early days. Remember, we was like, damn, remember this is the early 2000s, man. You're looking at 2001 at the time. So we like, yo, you know, like we just outside summertime and shit, you know, like, you know what I mean? The A&R from J.Records hit me, right, Luck? He like, yo, Haas, where's Q at? I looked at you, he like, yo, I like, look, he said call Q because they got Busta Rhymes at the office and they want to know what's up with the Coming to America beat. I looked at you, he looked at me like, yo, call this nigga Q. And then you like, yo, he getting hyped up, but I'm like, it don't even make no sense for me to call Q, right? Look, you looking at me like, call Q for what? Because you're about to tell him that the beat got sold already to Diplomats, right, Look? That was crazy. Right. You looked at me like, what you gonna tell him? We came back upstairs, right? Because we was outside. I ran back upstairs to your crib, and we was in the room on the phone with niggas, right, Love? So he was like, yo, remember that day, right?
I was thinking to myself, like, yo, he's just gonna have to tell him the same thing we could tell him, like.
Yeah. Gotta tell the truth, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, the Rock was really Rocafella crazy at that time. So it's like whatever was happening under the Rock umbrella and under the DefJam umbrella, that's just first priority. It's first priority. You just want to be involved. And that's where the connections were. Even though I had connections in J.Records too, it's like even stronger it was in that Rocafella DefJam building. That's why the things that happened transpired. But it would have been a better outcome had it went to Busta Rhymes, right? Look, let's talk about that.
In
the overall sense now,
knowing what happened,
right, knowing what happened. But what's really good is a classic record is featuring the legend DMX, rest in peace, right, love? We can't overtalk that because that's X going, what's really good, right?
Like, yeah, definitely.
So we can't overtalk that. We got to understand for the people because these are small wins, but yet big wins for us. And it's because we still up and coming producers and up and coming A&Rs and production companies. So tell the people about that stuff too, and we're gonna share our experience about that. Because even though you know it wasn't much money, all that shit did was buy the MPC, and all it did was have us little extra shit going on in the hood that day, and they bought the MPC. But it was still a great accomplishment. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
But you know, when we had to upset Busta Rhymes, that was crazy, right, love?
People gotta understand the time we talking about. It wasn't no
internet like that.
Yeah, it wasn't no.
I'm drinking coffee too.
On Facebook or something like that. Nah, it was like, yo, you gotta go down to the offices. You gotta make a phone call. You had to physically get in touch with people. And that's the type of shit we was on. You know what I'm saying? Physically making phone calls, physically getting shit done. You know, they couldn't understand how I was 20-something years old making these calls and the producer, like 2-3 people in one. Like they didn't understand how I was so young doing that. Like I didn't even understand it either. I knew what I was doing, but I didn't understand how important that was to be so young, making these calls and actually, you know what I'm saying, being a producer and all of that. Yeah, I hear your call went out. You know what I mean? If the signaling went out, you know what to do. You know what I'm saying? You know what to do. See if your shit come back. If you know, go out, come back. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what. Remember, he's driving, so if he comes in and out the live periodically, it's because he's making sure the signaling is aligned. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who's gonna watch what we got going on, man. This interview is still dope, man. But like I said, we had to actually tell Busta Rhymes that the Coming to America beat was already sold, and you know he had Put Your Hands on My Oscar C video. So for him if he was able to get his hands on that beat, that might have been even bigger. The sample might have cleared. They would have definitely went out their way to clear the sample, and the video would have got done for it too. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, shout out to Dipset, shout out to DMX once again, because what's really good is a legendary record.
you know, that Q730 and myself are just honored to still be the producers of. But, you know, just knowing that we had to upset Busta Rhymes and tell him that the Coming to America beat was already sold, that was a crazy time that me and Luck Blake experienced, you know what I'm saying? You know, he's in a rough signal area right now, you know what I'm saying? When I think I'm gonna accept him to the live one more time. And then let's see if we can come back in and conclude the rest of our interview, you know what I'm saying? Because he's in a hectic signal area, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you coming back in, like I see you back. Yeah, man, I know that people know you in the hectic signal area, so bear with us when you come in and out the live, you know what I'm saying? Because you are in North Carolina, you know what I'm saying?
I'm still in a funny spot though.
Yeah, that's all right. We're gonna get it done, man. This shit is still fire. I'm just holding it down. When you flash out, I continue to talk, you know what I'm saying, until you come back. But tell people, like, when we was upstairs and we had to hear Busta Rhymes' voice, and the niggas on because we don't want to lose signal, you know what I'm saying? Tell them we had to hear Busta Rhymes' voice, look, and he sounded disappointed, like, oh man, yo,
Yeah, that was upsetting.
That was crazy, yo.
Being a fan, you don't want to tell somebody that you're a fan of, like
somebody you're a fan of, because you know that puts us in neutral ground for times we're trying to say, yo, we got way more joints and pop, 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 pop. You know, a nigga like that, he don't want to hear nothing because he works with some of the greatest producers anyway. And when he was on J.Records, he was working with Dr. Dre at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was working with Dr. Dre at that time, you know, with songs like Break Your Neck and all the shit. He did just joints with Swiss Beats and all of that, the New York shit. So Bus was wilding when he was on J.Records at that time, you know what I'm saying? You know, and that's when Swiss was over there with Cassidy in Full Circle. All of that was on J.Records at that time, like when that was happening, you know, right? So that was a crazy time for us to have to hear Busta Rhymes be disappointed in the fact that the beat got sold already.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's crazy.
That was crazy.
Yo, man. That was so crazy. We got so much more to talk about. Like we said,
that was almost as crazy as
the next shit we're about to talk about?
I don't want to say exactly what I just said with Dylan.
It's almost as crazy as the next shit we're going to talk about, right? Look,
yeah,
so shout to Busta Rhymes, though.
That was crazy. Crazy because just to hear the fact that he was upset and it was something that we said, you know, I mean, not like he was mad at us, but he was like disappointed, like,
right.
Yo, I need that beat, like, what? Nah.
Right.
Dang, yo, that's crazy.
Right.
That was crazy.
That was so crazy, like, because you know when something like that happened, look, we can't even submit more beats to the nigga. He don't want to hear nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
First, if you can't get the track that he wants, because first of all, that's a legend artist. That's not like a regular artist. So if he don't get the joint that was like a big deal set out for him, he ain't gonna hear nothing else, you know what I'm saying? Working with Dre and Swiss and all these other niggas, Knots and all these niggas, he ain't worried about no producers on the come up trying to get a name for themselves. And it's a privilege to work with a guy like that. So if we missed that boat, we missed that boat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's what happened.
In 2000, you think about 2000, he was in the game for 9 years already.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying?
So he was on the verge of a legend then.
He was a verge of a legend then. Like, he was in the game almost a decade then. So, you know, come on, B. You know what I'm saying? At that time, him and Hove was like, there was nothing bigger than them two at that time. Him and Jay-Z, right? You know what I'm saying? Snoop was still killing it on the West Coast, but on some East Coast shit, around about that time, it was nothing bigger than like him, Nas, and Busta Rhymes and shit. You know what I'm saying?
And DMX, that was it.
And DMX, yeah. At that time, it was nothing bigger than those niggas. Ja Rule came a little after that. You know what I mean? But that was so crazy when we had to upset Busta Rhymes. But we're going to move on and talk about this Rocafella shit, because I just put up clips of State Property early today. You know what I mean? Shout out to State Property. Shout out to the whole Rocafella. Shout out to my cousin Abdul Malik, right? Love. Shout out to my cousin Abdul Malik. He directed State Property. He's directed State Property program. He directed Streets is Watching for Jay-Z. He directed Around the Way Girl for LL Cool J. And so many others. Videos for Brand Nubians. Shit for Big Daddy Kane and the Assorted Flavors. his lineage and his work with being a director and executive goes so much deeper than Rocafella. But we're gonna stay on the Rocafella shit and just talk this State Property shit, right? Look, I put up just some scenes of clips from State Property because you know I had the privilege of scoring 4 instrumentals on the movie. So I showed the clips that I produced, the instrumentals for. I showed my little cameo scene in the movie. Shout out to my cousin Abdul. Shout out to The Rock. Shout out to State Property. Right? Look, we're going to talk about when we went to the It's a Rap party for State Property, right, Luck? For the State Property film, because my boy Luck Blake had to come through with me. And before that, I'm going to just talk about, you know, because we're gonna mention the God, the Queen, you know, rest in peace to Queen, you know what I'm saying? You know, rest in peace to the Queen Aaliyah, you know what I'm saying? We had opportunity of meeting her in person in very personal setting because it wasn't like no big industry shit happening. It was just like an industry event, but it was still like in a personal setting, right? Love? So that was crazy. You know what I mean? It was a personal, even though it was an industry event, it was a personal setting. It wasn't a whole bunch of paparazzi, cameras and all that shit around. You know what I'm saying?
It was a mix of that. It was a personal industry setting.
It's a personal industry event, right? So before I get into that, I'm gonna just say the first time that I saw Aaliyah was at Little Kim party. Little Kim had a party for Notorious A.I.M., you know what I'm saying, back in the days for that album. And I went to that party, me and Trey Banger and me and G, you know what I'm saying? And also Dante went with us. Dante is also the person who did additional instrumentation on the tracks that I produced on State Property. So it was me, Trey Banger, G, and Dante that I went down there to the party for Little Kim, you know what I'm saying? And I saw Kim, that's when I seen that Little Kim was 4 feet tall. She was only like 4'11", me and Banger met Missy that day. Missy's like 5 feet 2. Everybody's man short. We saw Fat Joe, we saw Raekwon, we saw Mobb Deep. Me and Banger was on the line with Prodigy and Capone. Rest in peace, Prodigy. Prodigy was standing there with Capone. It was like 2 half groups on the line. Yo, look, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. It was like 2 half groups on the line. And when I bring Banger back on the line to do the second half of like what we're doing, he's gonna explain that too. It was like 2 half groups on the line. Me and Banger and these niggas were standing right behind Prodigy, rest in peace to the God Prodigy, man, from the legendary group Mobb Deep. Prodigy was standing there, and Capone from the legendary Capone and Noriega group. They were standing right next to each other online. No Nori, no Havoc. It was just those two. That was odd, right? And we was like right behind them. They went into the line, and inside there, like I said, I saw a lot of different people. Even Russell Simmons was there. Missy was there. Kamora Lee Simmons was there because it was a bar party for Little Kim. It was like down on Houston Street. It was a big deal in the Mark Ballroom. They had in a big event, right? So I saw Hope come through. I saw Jay come through. You good? You good?
I'm trying to figure out where I'm going.
You good though, right?
I'm good. I think I'm here.
You might be almost to your location, right?
I'm looking for the truck.
Good, man. Like, you know what I mean? We almost finished soon too. Like, we about to be done, you know what I'm saying? We had like the nucleus part of what we're talking about. So like I said, like that shit is just crazy, right? Like this, I'm gonna keep going just make sure you know where you go, you know what I mean? You can just chime in and hear me. But that was so crazy. Like when we went to the party, you know what I mean, the It's a Rap party for State Property, you know what I'm saying? My cousin Abdul invited me to a party, right? Me and Luckey was just chilling on the block, right? I got like a call, right? And he was like, yo, if you want to come to the It's a Rap party for State Property, meet me downtown now. She was like in West 4th Street area, right, Luck? Luck, it was just me and Luck. I said, yo, dude, I got Luck Blake with me.
It was West 8th on
West 8th, right? Right. It was close to Electric Lady and shit, you know what I'm saying, right, Luck? It was kind of close to Electric Lady Studios in that vicinity. But I told dude, I said, yo, I got Luck Blake with me. He was like, you know, Luck is all good. Like, Luck, you know what I mean? You know what's going on? He do industry shit. He's one of those people that could be around shit on that level. Let's go, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, like Blake, let's bounce, you know what I'm saying? Just me and you, right? We bounced, and we met up with dude. It was just me and you. We bounced, we met up with dude. It's like, didn't it seem like he came out of like some kind of all black? This shit had no windows. The doors was black.
Yeah, it
seemed like he just came out of a blacked out incident.
You had to walk down the steps. Like, it was like maybe 3-4 steps you had to walk down.
Right, we walked down the steps, right, love? Yo, that was crazy. Like, it was like a blacked out club entrance with no signs, no words, right, love? And we just like walked down the steps. It was mad people downstairs, you know what I'm saying? You checking your area, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
You basically there, right? So yeah, we gonna finish up 5 minutes. We be finished up, and you can get out the car and all of that, and make sure you good. You on good timing. Your time now is 3:50. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we almost done. You know what I'm saying? We are almost done now. Like, I'm glad that you came back on. But yo, you there? Yo, we actually came downstairs, right? Like, it was so many people in the building that day, right? Oh, now you flashed out, my nigga. Now your signaling is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was so many people in the building that day, right?
Yo.
When we got downstairs.
It looked like a small little spot.
Right.
And then you go down the steps and you just see mad people in there.
Right, like, it just turned into like a mega mansion spot or something. You know what I mean?
It was really on some like low type.
Yeah, man. Like, it was some low key shit.
You really didn't know about it unless a nigga called you and was like, "Yo, come down here," or hit you on the phone, "Come down here."
I'm telling you, bro.
That wasn't no random. Oh, I'll find it. Nah.
Yeah, man, that shit is crazy, bro. That shit is crazy. We got downstairs, Luck. Let's tell some of the people. Let's tell the people about some of the people we saw. First of all, it's a Rocafella event. So as soon as we got downstairs, we saw Dame. As soon as we got downstairs, right? Let's tell the people what happened as soon as we got downstairs. And a dude walked us downstairs. Hold on. A dude walked us downstairs, right? All three of us, right? The first person we saw was Dame Dash, right?
Yep.
And Dame Dash, he stepped to my cousin Abdul and said, "Yo, great job, man, for shooting state property, right, Luck?" And he brought us over to the bar, right, Luck? And then when he took us to the bar, what they gave us, Luck? It was us three, me, you, and Dude. He took us to the bar, what they gave us? 2 bottles of champagne.
Look, like it was nothing, though.
Like it was nothing. Yeah, we had 1 bottle of Chris. We had 1 bottle of Cristal, because at that time, Cristal was the thing.
We went over and sat up and rolled up.
Yeah, we're going to get to that, though. We're going to get to that. They gave us 2 bottles, 1 bottle of Cristal, right? And they gave us 1 bottle of Dom Perignon, right? And then at that same token, after he gave us the bottle, right? First of all, we ain't going to get right to it, because you know you got to go. You look at weekend around the room, who we saw? We saw Puff. Puff locked up right now. Free Diddy, as they would say. Well, we saw Puff, right? Puff was there, because, you know, Bad Boy and Rocafella was close. You know what I'm saying? We saw Puff. We saw a few people. You know what I'm saying? We saw a few people there. You know what I'm saying? Right, Luck? We saw Steagle. We saw Freeway. We saw a few people. But before we get to that, yeah, Freeway, everybody. Everybody from the Rock was there. Young Guns, all them niggas was there. And then, but who came right to us right after we got the bottle of champagne? Rest in peace to the Queen, man. The Queen, Leah.
This is what I always remember, us sitting down, and then, because I remember Dame left. He went back upstairs.
Yeah, he went upstairs to get somebody.
That door opened, and then rest in peace.
Nah, Dame didn't leave, Luck. Dame didn't leave. I can't hear you. Dame didn't leave. He was still standing right there. Because when Aaliyah came, she approached. There you go. Say it. Keep talking. Keep talking.
I just remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, Dame didn't leave. Dame didn't leave,
I'm looking crazy because I'm taking the stuff out of the car.
Yeah, that's right. You getting ready for your shit. We almost finished, my nigga. We got 2 more minutes and we closing right now. But remember when we got downstairs, Dame didn't leave. He was still standing there. That was right after they gave us the bottles. And then rest in peace, the Queen. Did she walk right up to us because Damon Dash was standing there? Remember that, Luck?
Yeah.
So we gotta say it the right way, because that's why. Because if Dame wasn't standing there, Luck, she wouldn't have walked to us. So Damon Dash was standing there, me, you, and Abdul was standing there. Damon Dash was, you know what I mean, was talking to my cousin Abdul. We were standing there, and then that's when rest in peace, Aaliyah walks up to Damon Dash and says, you know, she says, "How y'all doing, everybody?" We like, "Oh, hi," you know what I mean? Me and Luck just looked at each other and looked back like, you know, because we had to say hi to Aaliyah like she was just a regular person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
shout out to my sister on the line, man. What's up? What's going on, mamas? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to my boy Luck Blake, man. I'm going to hit you on the phone, though. But yeah, you know, we had to talk about, actually, that was a crazy day. She walked up to Damon Dash. She gave him a kiss in the mouth and said, hi, baby. After saying hi to me, you, and Abdul, she gave Damon Dash a kiss in the mouth, right? Luckey was like, hi, baby. You know what I'm saying? We was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? That shit happened right in front of us. She figuring that, hey, we in the building with everybody else, right? You must be somebody. She ain't questioning nothing. If we standing there next to Dash and we in the vicinity, right? So
there was no question.
there was no question. That was a wild time. That was a real wild time that day, right? Look, that was a very wild day. We got to meet Aaliyah in person. And we, after that, we sat down, right? Look, we didn't even drink like that, but we had some little bit of sips of our Dom Perignon and Cristal, and then we just rolled up blunts and shit, right?
Who we rolled up
With
and smoked with?
Who we smoked with, love? We smoked with Beanie Siegel and Freeway. You know what I'm saying? And Young Guns. So, you know, we were sitting like on a long extended couch, right? Like the couch was like a gigantic L that went around, a gigantic U that went around the whole trim of the club, right? So it was just like me. I was like, it was like Duel, Dame, Jay, and then on the other side of Duel was like me, you, C, Freeway, you know what I'm saying? Young Guns, and it just kept going down, you know what I mean? And on the way other end of the couch was like the people from Bad Boy and shit, right, love? That was a crazy day, man. And you know what I mean? I'm just glad that you was able to come online and talk about that real quick, man. I really appreciate that, man. We got so much more to talk about, man. I know you got to get ready for your. I know you got to get ready for your gig. I thank you for coming through and online. Even though we had a little signaling issues, we still got through it. That was a crazy day, right? That was a crazy. It looks beautiful out there in North Carolina. My boy down south. You know what I'm saying? You already know how we do. He getting ready to work, you know what I'm saying? But that was a crazy day, right? Like us talking about the After the State Property movie shoot, man, when we met Aaliyah and we smoked with Seed and Freeway and they gave us the Cristal and the, you know what I'm saying?
See the next one, I'll tell you the first time I smoked with, you know, well, not really smoked, but took a pull with him, with Beans. That was the second time.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I got to smoke with Young Guns when we was in Rocafella office. We're going to talk about some more shit next time, right, Luck? I'm so glad that you were able to come through, man. And I love you, my brother. You know how we do, love man. Once again, A&R and Vice President of Soundproze Productions, no matter what state he's in, my boy Luck Blake, you know how we do, man. You know what I'm saying? Soundproze for life. You know what I'm saying? Deuce for life. You know how we do, man.
I can put another rehead.
Yep, I got you.
You know how we do. Soundproze for life. Deuce for life. Hungry Hamilton for life. Everything that we connect to. Nightbreed. All of the shit that we, you know what I'm saying, that we represent. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to holler at you later, my God. This is going to be available on IG and YouTube. I'll holler at you later. I love you, my nigga. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Yo, your brother just joined, man. We have to shout to Brevin. He tried to join, man. Shout to my boy Luck brother, Brev Hampden, on the check-in. You know what I'm saying? Shout to Brevin, a.k.a. Q Bond. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know how we do, man. I love you, my God. Stay tuned for the interview, man. Call me back when you get a chance, all right?
All right, Joe.
I'll let you later, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to my boy Luck Blake, man. A&R, Soundproze Productions, man. I really appreciate him chiming through and taking the time out to have an interview. Shout out to B. Hampton on the check-in. I see you, my God. Shout out to my sister, Nicole, you know what I mean, on the check-in. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do. Naturally, Nicole on Instagram on the check-in. Shout out to B. Hampton on the check-in. Shout out to everybody who was checking out this interview with my boy Luck Blake, man. We talked about a lot of things, man. We talked about, you know, him being an A&R of Soundproze Productions, you know what I'm saying? You know, working with me, being a producer, an executive, and the CEO of Soundproze, working with me on all of these projects as I produce songs for all of these different artists, and we're working on all of these tracks and projects for these different artists' albums, whether it's mainstream or independent. You know, a few times Luck Blake has also came through with a couple of samples, and I chopped up the samples and made beats out of them, and that's how he got co-production credit with me. So shout out to my boy Luck Blake, man. I really appreciate him for coming through and having this interview with me. This is your boy H2, Soundproze Productions, Sound Show Radio. You know how we do, man. Once again, everything we do is sponsored by Sound Show Radio and connected to the Matrix Studio Network, DSN. You know what I'm saying? Streaming through iHeartRadio, Party 101.9 XFM channel. Shout out to Odyssey and shout out to NexusPlus.com. You already know, man. I'll holler at y'all later. One.